And as women, how do we navigate that in-between space is critical because I look at it as there's this void, the in-between, where who we used to be is on one side and who we are becoming and what we can see is on the other side. Welcome back. Balancing all the things.
All the things.
I know. I was like, were you just folding a burp cloth?
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
good. Good. We started talking at a wedding in Utah and you're like, oh, I heard the other podcast or just the Instagram post. And when you were asking a few questions, I was like, oh, we should just jump on the mic and talk about it.
Yeah. I think, yeah. Yeah. It's like right now with all of the transition, I feel like it's a transition. I don't know if that's the right word, but just, from being just yourself for so long and now have to just take care of a little human that, yeah, like that human just depends on you. It's interesting. I love it. I like it. It has been a nice ride, but it's definitely very shifting, like mind shifting, just because of that fact. And I said it about myself too, like I've praised myself to be very independent and I've worked my whole life to create that independency so I don't have to like ask for permission or whatever. But now I have with a different type of dependency. But it's definitely from my point of view or from how I feel it, like some sort of dependency, which is very interesting.
And it's okay to say we don't have to censor ourselves ever, girl, especially not in the conversations that you and I have. No judgment here. There are times when I was a single parent of 3 boys and I was thinking, okay, this is hard. It's beyond hard. And I don't know how I'm going to make it through the day hard. And it didn't mean that I cared any less about my children or the gift of being a mom. And yes, it's absolutely in the middle of transition because every time we as women have changes, it doesn't have to be as big as what you experienced with you and Brayden that, okay, now you have Luna in your lives. And so sometimes it's even the subtle shifts of, okay, first you were working at a fitness gym and now you're working at your place. And all of these things are a transition and a change. And as women, how do we navigate that in-between space is critical because I look at it as there's this void, the in-between, where who we used to be is on one side and who we are becoming and what we can see is on the other side. And there's what people describe as the messy middle. I call it the void, where we're in the void in between. It feels like a black hole to me sometimes where I'm like, okay, where am I? Just anchored out into the ethers. And we get to give ourselves permission to hold the duality of both.
Mm-hmm.
You get to hold the duality. It's not, okay, wish that we were in our old life so much or wish that we were in our new life so much or that we were settled through it. It's really embracing the in-between.
I think so too, that like wondering if there is at any point something to get to, or is it always the in between? You know what I mean? I feel like we're always like chasing that thing, or at least myself.
Yeah.
And interesting enough, during my pregnancy and after my pregnancy, I feel like that kind of changed in the sense of I've always been wanting to be something, to be somewhere, to have something. So not here. And as soon as I got pregnant, it was a whole like, yeah, again, like mind shift of it's right here and right now. And it's so funny to me because again, since I've been a little girl, I've been always, I feel like because of my parents, the society that I grew up in, I've been always trying again, like to be very independent and to get everything figured out. The idea in my family of having a kid, it was very like you make sure you finish your career first, that you have a sustainable job, blah, blah, blah. All of the first things that you need to do. And I was 29 when I got pregnant. And even at 29, I didn't have a lot of things figured out. And I felt like I still was not the person that I was supposed to be in order for me to have a kid. But once like a couple months in during my pregnancy, I'm like, this is it. Like, this is it. Not the fact that it's that I'm a mom and that's it. Like, that's all that I came to this world for. But I came to this world to live the present moment right now, right here. And that doesn't mean that I don't have goals. That doesn't mean that I don't want to keep being someone or build something or whatever. But it was, I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it seriously, because it was like, where was this feeling? Where has this feeling been my whole life? Where was it? Because I felt some sort of like serenity and peace and tranquility and crap. This feels amazing. Like,
Yes.
fuck. Right now,
Yeah.
still anxious. Obviously, I
Yeah.
still get, oh shit, I'm not the person that I want to be, or I'm not where I'm supposed to be. But it's a different feeling. It's, yeah, I'm not, but that's okay. And I'm liking the person that I am right now. I'm like truly, legitimately enjoying the ride as of right now. And that's beautiful. I'm so grateful that I've somehow, I don't even know, connect those 2 points. Whoa, here
Yeah.
feels,
Yeah. You absolutely decided. You connected those 2 points because you weren't liking the way that it was.
yeah.
You had to have been, because otherwise you would have been, like, fighting your body more. You would have had a more miserable pregnancy. Instead, you're, like, glowing in your pregnancy. I was like, "Oh, she's glowing."
Yeah.
Her body is, like, clearing up, her, like, skin is glowing, her
Did you see that? Did you remember my skin
Yes.
before, like the amount of acne that I had and scars and
Yeah.
everything? And I still have some
Yeah.
scars, but that was another thing that I'm like, whoa, like it clear out.
Yeah.
Of course, I bet that like the hormones and all of that. But I feel like
Mhm.
my mind, it definitely went to a different place. My mind, my
Yes.
spirit, my soul, my everything.
Yeah, and that's when we look at it, and I don't remember if it's Louise Hayes that talks about the different ailments that women have in our bodies, that we have a lot of control. If our mind is the same one that causes the disease and other ailments in our body, that our mind can heal itself. It's the same way that when we have a paper cut, it's our body heals itself. And our mind has a lot of power. Joe Dispenza wrote a book called The Placebo Effect, because of the power of our mind. And it's the reason why placebos in mass studies, when people take drugs, that in those placebo effects, that they experience it because their mind heals the body. And like you said, your skin, you're like, did you see that? Because you stopped fighting yourself.
Yeah.
You
I,
stopped fighting, and there was no more of this inner like tug of war, like this place or this, or there was no more of this uncomfortable internal tug of war. And instead, it was just what you mentioned. I got to be at peace and I got to be in the moment. And your body and your skin is, oh, now I can relax.
it's so interesting because I definitely try to keep that mindset right now, and keep myself grounded, because obviously, again, it's not, oh yeah, I don't feel anxiety anymore. I don't, from time to time, I don't feel a little bit of depression here and there and whatnot. No, yeah, of course we have.
Yeah.
And right now, specifically, once again, like trying to balance, I don't know, womanhood with motherhood, with actual work life and all of that. It's always challenging. It's always, yeah, it's always pushing my limits. I'm like, okay, try to keep it all so it doesn't, I don't know, I guess it's spilled or tilt over. It's
Yeah.
just interesting. Again, as we were talking in the wedding, something that I've always been scared of, not always, but maybe the last 5 years or so, it was, when I would became a mom, what type of mom would I be, right? Am I gonna
Mhm.
be the mom that spends all day with the kids and doesn't work or this or that, or am I gonna be the type of mom that actually works and get to see the kids after school or before school, or what type of mom am I gonna be? And I'm still figuring that out. But something that I mentioned in the wedding at you was that I struggle a little bit as of right now, specifically right now, with, am I giving my child enough attention, right? Am I making sure that my child is going to grow to be a good human being to society, that I'm giving her enough love, attention, and also like structure or discipline or whatever? Of course, she's just a baby right now, but the future. Or am I focusing too much on what I want and
Mhm.
the business that I want to build and the person that I want to be, that I could potentially at some point push her aside? Is that gonna put some scars on her and then grow to be a person that struggles with all sorts of, you name it? But then I see you, and you're a good example. Your kids are amazing. No,
Thank
they
you. Thanks.
Yeah, no, they grew to be good human beings. I've had the opportunity to, what is it, share closely with, he's the middle child, right?
Yes.
Yeah. The middle child tend to be like funky ones,
Yeah.
and he is really good. And he is really good. And so I feel like that's what I like I want to achieve, where I feel like you haven't lost yourself. You have been able to balance all of what it entails to be you, and again, your feminine energy and your womanhood and your motherhood. And at the same time, I'm a business woman. I'm a creator of things. And that's exciting.
Yes.
But at the same time, having good kids, good human beings. Huh? I want to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And thank you so much for that compliment. It's being a parent, I always feel like, I failed miserably. And I think the fact that if we ask those questions of how can I be a good parent? How can I instill values? That to me means we're on the right track. That to me, because we care deeply enough to be invested in the way that they turn out into good humans, that they feel loved enough, that they feel safe, they feel all of those things. That is enough. And you really have to let yourself off the hook that you are going to. You are. There are times where we just have to give ourselves grace of saying, okay, I could have done this part better. I could have done this part differently. When we go through something and we live an experience, the hindsight gives us wisdom and the hindsight gives us the lessons. And when we look back on it, the unfair advantage is when we look through it with our new wisdom and with the new lessons, and we shove that onto a situation that we weren't yet equipped to handle. We really have to, as moms and dads listening too, but I just happen to work with more women, and I am a woman, but I deeply love men. You know that with my 3 boys, I'm like, they're manly, they're men.
Yes, yes, yes.
With women, we get to let ourselves off the hook. And really and you mentioned there's so many things that you were talking about where I was like, ooh, okay, I want to touch on that. I hope I remember all of them. One, when you were talking about how do we balance it all? What does it look like? Am I going to be there after school? First of all, is letting go of what society says. So the things that you had mentioned at the beginning of the call that, okay, I have to do X, Y, and Z before I can have a child. My bank account needs to look as a certain way at this dollar amount. Then once I have this, then I can have that. Once I have these initials after my name, then I can have this. And it's, what are the games we play with ourselves to hold ourselves back? Which is bullshit. It's, okay,
Powerful there. Yeah. Like the games that we play with ourselves to hold ourselves back. That's, yeah.
And so we have to be really careful when these things start to creep up in our head of, okay, is this someone else's story because it worked for them and they think they should shove their story down our throat? Or they failed miserably and they were hurt. So they think, oh, if I could have just avoided the hurt or the pain, if I would have done XYZ. Therefore, Cammie should do XYZ and she won't get hurt or she won't fall on her face. And so we have to be really careful of, those are other people's stories. They're trying to shove down your throat. Makes no sense. Yeah. It doesn't matter if something's never been done before, challenge accepted. If it's in your heart, like, you do it. Like, I love it when people tell me that's never been done before. And I heard that there's 3 specific times I can think of in corporate America where one in corporate America, they said, that's never been done before. And I'm like, okay, that means absolutely nothing to me. And I did it anyways. And then there were 2 other times when I had my other company that I built it into a multi-6-figure company, 2 other times, maybe 5 that I could think of, where they said, oh, this has never been done before. This has never been done before. And I just, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's other people's stories. And for me, my internal, that's what I wanted to do. So I made it happen and was wildly successful because other people's limitations, I didn't let other people's dreams. Some people, I swear to God, like, they should have a t-shirt that just says Dream Crusher on the front. Like, I'm like, That's what they're built for. They're just built to be a dream crusher, which
And
is
it's
fine.
totally. But you said something very interesting, which was like I want to circle back to that the pain. We don't know if it's because like theory number two about they suffer through their process, and so they don't want you to suffer, so you should do this and that. And that's very interesting. And I resonate a lot with that because about 3 years ago, I feel like I had a illumination moment in my life in the sense of the word pain. I realized at that moment that my whole life in the society that we live in, we want intentionally to walk away away from pain. We don't want to be close to pain. As parents, we always try to avoid pain for our kids. As lovers, we always try to avoid pain of our lovers. As sons and daughters, we try to avoid pain for loved ones in general.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting because from pain, you get so much learning. You get so much insight. You get so much wisdom. You get so much, just get so much. And it's funny because for me, it's just like the fact that because pain is discomfort physically and mentally is like, oh, oh, we don't want that. But just I don't know if I'm going to be able to present this idea the way that I want to, but the fact of the negative the negative point of view of pain. Oh, that's bad. You don't want that. And it's not. It is discomfort. Might not feel great. It might not feel like I don't know, like a nice hot tub. Yeah, definitely. Or like a warm chocolate in front of a chimney in winter. Yeah, it definitely doesn't feel as warm and fun as that. But that doesn't mean we gotta put it in the negative sad, like in the negative is sad. No, it feels uncomfortable, but the uncomfortness is so positive. And I think that's like as a society, again, we've grown to always walk away from pain rather than actually dive into it. And we should dive into it because it's just, again, you get so much wisdom from it. And every time that you have these dream crushers, they are talking from pain. They
Yeah.
are, so it's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a really big movement right now too with what do you got? Like the parent, like alienating the parents. I forget what it's called right now on like TikTok and other things and therapists where they're saying, okay, if you have pain with your parent, then you should have really strong, hard boundaries and just cut them off. So there's this really big movement, and I've seen it on some of the YouTube videos. Do you know what I'm talking about now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's
Totally.
so it's the parent alienation where it's the children are taught right now, and by children, I mean it's 30 and younger, that it's moving through our culture because they're so committed to avoiding pain, as opposed to it's okay to be uncomfortable. It's okay to have a difficult conversation. I love having difficult conversations with people that I care about, meaning, and even in my friendships, it's the challenging conversations means that it gives me the opportunity to grow with you. That if I said, hey, if you came to me and said, hey, Tonya, you hurt my feelings and I really want to talk with this to you about it. You hurt my feelings. You said XYZ and I want to bring it up. Then if you came to me with that, then it gives me the opportunity of saying, oh, okay, my tongue was sharp. Maybe I could have delivered that differently. Maybe when and it gives me the opportunity where I could apologize and say, Cami, I apologize. That wasn't my intent. I am so sorry for making you feel that way. And I'm sorry, will you forgive me? And there's depth that happens in relationships when we don't circumvent that. So when we cut out that opportunity and we just say, okay, I'm going to cut this person off because toxic relationships or toxic stress or whatever we're pretending to call it in society, but it's robbing people of sitting in pain. It's robbing people of having depth in their love relationships. And it's cutting apart families and friendships that are the support system. So instead, it's alienating people, like we're separating because we're so committed to avoiding something that hurts. And the gift of who do I become when I do hard things?
Yeah.
Girl, like you're using when you do hard things and you lift weights, your butt looks better. Your
Exactly. Same thing happens to your soul.
Yes, girl. Yeah, the same thing happens to your soul. And we
No,
rob ourselves that opportunity. Imagine if a client hired you because they hire you for personal training. Imagine if they hired you and said, okay, Cami, I only want to do the easy things. I don't want to be in pain. I don't want this to hurt. I don't want to be sore tomorrow.
yeah.
Like,
What are we
how,
doing here?
yeah, what are we doing? And how are they going to have a healthy body? How are they going to stay committed to their health and their growth and their evolution physically, same way
Yeah,
mentally and emotionally? Because what we're really talking about is the emotional intelligence. That do we have emotional awareness?
totally. And I think it's like I don't know, everything with moderation, so to say, because taking the example of it working out itself, yeah, of course you don't want to go freaking crazy and work out for 3 hours, destroy your body. So it
Yeah.
takes you 3 weeks to recover. No, obviously. And it's the same thing with like family and friends. Obviously, if you have a
Yes.
very destructive and disruptive person that it doesn't do anything but harm you and you have had the conversations already and you have tried to like this and that, and it's definitely no go. And it's like physically, emotionally, and mentally breaking you. Okay, yeah, obviously boundaries are necessary, but
1,000%. Yeah. But that's a
the,
difference between someone that's really is harmful versus, okay, this person makes me feel uncomfortable. And now I have to have emotional intelligence or emotional awareness. Those are two different things. Girl, there are some parents that should be arrested for some of the
exactly,
shit they do.
exactly.
Unfortunately, there are evil people in this world. I'm not talking about the evil people. I'm talking about the people that are mostly kind, that just a little bit because they're human. Those are the ones that I'm talking about, not about the ones that,
Exactly.
you know, not the ones
Yeah.
that Irma will find them one day.
Yeah. And I feel like the problem too is that when you are pushing those peoples away, your friends or your family, you are creating this, what is it, chamber or like this
Yes.
bubble
Yeah.
around you.
Mhm.
It's once again like only what you like, only what you want. And
Yeah.
it's funny. It's so funny because you would think that's what you want. You would think that's what makes you happy. But you keep yourself in that bubble or in that circle, and you're never going to be happy. You're going to be a miserable person because as human beings, I've come to the conclusion that we need the hardship. We need the hard conversations. We need the confrontation. We need all of this because it's from those where we grow. It's from those where we get the, what is it, rewarding sensation, the
Yeah.
growth,
Yeah.
the, oh, I'm doing things good. Oh, I'm advancing. Oh, I'm evolving. But if I
Yeah.
stay, I'm just going to keep biting my tail. I'm never going to be happy. I'm going to be a complete, yeah, unhappy person that everything is going to be bad. Everything is going to be wrong around me. And it's not out here. It's in here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that community, humans are wired for community. So we have that community. The same ones that could accidentally hurt our feelings unintentionally are the same ones that can be our biggest champions, that would donate a kidney to you, it's whatever you needed. Your friends will be there for you. You could have those type of friends in your life. And to have those friendships, we need to be that friendship. If we look around and say, okay, I don't have a lot of friends in my life. And it's like, okay, how much time have you invested in friendships? I've seen people that invest more in dating than they do relationships. There were some of the girls at the swimming pool and they were talking about, oh, and the three of us, we just started talking. We were strangers, how it started. And then we started talking and we were sitting beside each other. And it's funny because then our chairs are like right beside each other, turning it in the direction of the sun. And we're just hanging out like besties at the pool. And yeah, and it's so good just to be able to have friendships. And one of them said, I don't spend enough time with friendships. Let's do a barbecue on Tuesday. Okay, I'll bring the wine, I'll bring this. And so each of us talked about what we were going to bring. Girl, by the time it was like 2 or 3 days later, it was only like maybe Saturday to Tuesday. By the time Tuesday came around, I need to cancel because I might have a date tonight. I was like, might, or I think it was Monday night that the text went out. I'm waiting on this guy to see if he asked. I was like, okay, first of all, we do not wait on guys to ask us out. We make plans. We keep ourselves busy. We're
Yeah.
the queen. We
Yeah.
move through with our friendships, with
Mhm.
our life. We move forward. If a guy is magnetized to us and he wants to ask us out, great. But we don't sit by the phone, nor do we cancel on girls.
Waiting.
Yeah. Nor do we cancel on girlfriends for a guy. You tell the guy, oh, I'm sorry, I already had plans. Let him be curious about what it is.
Yeah.
Your plans could be giving yourself a pedicure. Your plans could be time with girlfriends.
And it's funny because that I feel like that's even like better for the relationship itself. You know what I mean? Like you are a person that has your own identity or your own life, life that your own life with them, but like my life is yours or you are my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
Yep.
when two people are whole and complete and content, then we come together, we create more. Not because I'm empty, because I'm waiting to be chosen. No, I chose myself. I am the one. And if you and I choose to spend time together, then we create more together.
Yeah, definitely. I wanna circle back to the confrontation part because I myself I was. It's funny because I've always been in my family and when I was a kid and my group of friends and whatnot, like the confrontational one. And probably it came from that. I feel like I transformed my identity to completely avoid that because I didn't want to be a confrontational person, but I did have strong opinions. Um, and it's funny because it wasn't like, at least I never felt I was like looking to pick up a fight or something. I was just like sharing my opinion about something, like
And
whatever.
thinking through it, talking through it. Yeah.
Yeah. But so I feel like mainly in my teenage years, I feel like mm, that was a big chunk of my life where a lot of change happened and a lot of like craziness. It didn't, the change that happened, it wasn't necessarily the direction that I want. I feel like it kind of like it went out of hand from a point of view. But anyways, I put myself in a box, so to say, and I would try as much as possible to avoid any type of confrontation. I had a situation in high school where I went through a bullying for 2 years of my high school. And from my house, we are not my house. It's not a confrontational house. At least I thought so. But we were always like the type of like mentality of rise above. You are bigger, you are smarter, you are uh whatever, put the other cheek, this and that. And even though yes, that does have a place, it does. As I grew out of teenage years and in my 20s, I realized that done. Because once again, like that confrontation, it is good. I think that the problem, so to say, is that we have not developed the skill, because to me that's a skill, of having a debate, of
Yeah.
having the ideas. And we
Yeah.
get, what is the name of this? To our, that we think that we are our ideas. And so when someone is disagreeing with that idea, you are disagreeing with me. You don't love me. You don't like me. At least that's what I would think. Like if I'm disagreeing with someone, I don't like that person. I don't love that person. And I don't want that person to feel that way because I do love them. And so I'm just going to shut the and I would shut the but I would bottle. And that steam would have to come off somehow, somewhere at some point of my life.
Yeah.
In my God, every day I give thanks for Brayden, my husband. He is like,
Yeah.
he has been such a that good teacher without being a teacher in my life. In the sense of I realized that in relationships, in love relationships, I didn't want to fight because to me, fighting was that we were not meant to be. If we are
Mhm.
fighting, we are having too many disagreements in the universe. There's a soul out there where I'm not going to have to fight, where I'm not going to have to disagree. And that's complete bullshit. Like you will always have disagreement, even with the person that you love the most, just because you're two different humans, even though we're all connected, even though we're all the same, we have different ways to process information. And so with him, we actually went through a really bad breakup and we were separated for 6 months. And then went back and little by little, blah, 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 and a year after, we fully were back together. But through that process, I realized, shit, we never fought. We never fought. We never fought. And the time that we fought, it was the end of the relationship. Like, we're not meant to be. I live in the house, blah, blah, blah. And it was like all of this drama. Maybe because of my culture too, a little bit. We're a little bit dramatic.
You're like,
But,
maybe.
but yeah, like I realized that the discussion didn't have a place in my life because of that, because it meant that we didn't love each other. And it's so far from reality. I feel like it's the complete opposite. If you are able to freaking have a discussion or a debate or a disagreement points with someone and still at the end of the day sit on the same table and have a peaceful meal and move on, man, there's so much growth, I feel like, in it. And when that came to my mind, now I love discussions. Now I'm like, oh no, let's sit down, let's have a sip. What is a term? I like a term that you guys have here. Agree to disagree. I love that. That's like perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. And for children that are disowning your parents, that whole parent estrangement thing, that was the word I was looking for earlier. That's exactly what you just said, that you can love that. You can love the different part of it. And so there's an invitation in our culture, is my invitation would be anyone listening, of invite those disagreements. And like what you just described with your husband, where you said, oh, I love it because of the closeness that you guys have. I see the way your face lights up when you're talking about it. You're like, I love this. And what you talked about too at the beginning, it's the self-abandonment is what you were doing in the beginning, is when you talked about the younger, oh, we don't disagree or we don't rock the boat kind of thing. And it's that self-abandonment, and it has to come out somewhere. So then it comes out as screaming when it's about hairspray. And they're like, but it's just about hairspray. And you're like, nope, it's for the 987 other things that were before that, where I self-abandon and I didn't put words in it. I didn't use my emotional intelligence. I didn't have emotional awareness to say, oh, there's a gut feeling here where this is a no, and I'm saying yes, just to people please, and just to get along with everyone, and I'm going to self-abandon. And then it comes out in migraines, it comes out in stomach ache, it comes out in the skin, it comes out in autoimmune, like all of these things that can come out because we self-abandon and we ignore our gut and ignore our intuition that says this is a no or this is a yes. And then the flip side of that, you touched on an important part of, it's not your identity. It's not a personal attack on you if someone disagrees with you. You're wearing a gorgeous white shirt, Cami. And if I said, oh, I don't like the color white, okay, it doesn't matter. If you told me, oh, your hair is up this morning, it's like, I got up at 4:00 this morning and I wasn't committed to washing my hair. And it's like third day dirty. It's going to look like I need an oil change if it's down. Who, like, who cares? If you're like, I don't like your hair up, I'm like, okay. Like, it doesn't mean anything. And so we need to stop making it mean something if someone doesn't like it. Girl,
Yeah.
if I asked you what your favorite kind of ice cream was, what is it? Do you like ice cream? Okay,
Not much.
what's your favorite protein to eat?
I think meat, like beef.
Okay, what kind of beef? Like a ribeye, a
A
like chuck,
ribeye.
a ribeye. Okay, hell
Yeah.
yeah, I love those too.
Yeah.
Every vegetarian's like, nope, I'm not listening to this podcast. No, we can agree to disagree. Cami just said
Exactly.
that's the whole, yeah. Okay. And then for the vegetarians listening, I think of my girlfriend Alyssa, like one of my girlfriends. And so favorite vegetable, like sweet potato or regular potato. So if we ask people like, okay, what is your favorite vegetable? What is your favorite steak? Ribeye. What's your favorite vegetable? Oh, I like sweet potato because it's savory, sweet, it's hearty, whatever. So if I ask you, why do you like ribeye?
Because it tastes good.
Yeah. But why does it taste good to you?
Good question. I don't know because I don't know. It just tastes good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And it's just because.
Yes,
Like,
just
I don't
because.
know,
Mhm.
it just tastes good. You're like, I don't know, it just tastes good. There's no need to defend. You're like, I don't know, I just like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's the same with when we talk about things that are deeply important to us, that it doesn't matter. It's okay if we like sweet potato more than red potato, if we like ribeye better than filet mignon. It's it doesn't it's okay. Those are just personal preferences. That's part of you, Cami, and never ever self-abandon. Someone else thinks, "Oh my god, ribeye is too fatty." And you're like, "Oh yeah, that's why it gives it all the flavor. That's why it's so good. That's why it's juicy."
You are right.
Yeah, and then there's
Yeah.
someone else, there's nope, filet mignon, it has no fat, it's whatever it
Yeah.
might be, and it's okay. You and I, what you just mentioned a moment ago, you can sit right beside me, we can still sit right beside each other, shoulder to shoulder. You can have your filet, I'll have my ribeye. You can have your sweet potato, I'll have my broccoli.
And it's you're saying that right now, my mind went to maybe getting back to the very beginning of our conversation, the identity of like motherhood versus working or women in the work field or whatever it is, right? But
Yep.
I feel that my identity through the longest of time, like even my friends, when I told them I'm pregnant or that I'm having a baby or whatever, they were all like, "You?" I'm like, that's crazy." And it was really like hard in a way, but honestly, at the same time, I felt like I had some sort of like magical power that I don't even know how to describe it because I don't feel like I don't feel like I called it. I don't feel like I worked for it for a long time, but it came naturally. Maybe I did work for it for a long time and it came naturally at the right moment. But anyway, the point is that I was trying to balance that identity of I changed. I want to be a mom now, or I never thought I would stay at home and allow my husband to take care of me. That, but now things have changed. And
Yeah.
why? Because they just have. Don't get me wrong. Again, I love working. I truly do love working. I talk about like parenthood and working. And it's, and this probably is going to shake the boots of many, but this
Mhm.
is my point. I feel like parenthood is very fulfilling. It's something that definitely nothing else in life is going to give it to you. Maybe some sort of volunteering job, maybe where you put yourself out there without hoping anything in exchange, regardless what the other person does, blah, blah, blah. Maybe some volunteering, it would be the same. But yeah, it's very fulfilling. It gets you closer to yourself. It's just another experience, another level. Working is just fun. It's fun. For me, it's have to deal with all of the little like bursts and bubbles and things that happen throughout the day in your business and have to figure it out and fix it. And to me, that's just like fun. Even though at the end of the day, I might be like completely exhausted or feeling like I even didn't achieve whatever I needed to achieve in terms of my to do list of work and stuff. It's fun. I had a fun day. I want to do it again tomorrow. Can we go again, please? For me, it's like Disneyland.
Yeah.
Disneyland. I don't know. But so yeah, don't get me wrong. I definitely still love working, and I want to keep building my business and scale it to a point where I feel like, whoa, I did this shit. It's amazing. But at the same time, is that like motherhood has given me a whole different perspective of life, and it's interesting because it's fighting in a way, fighting to what my identity used to be, if that makes sense. All of what I thought it was the right thing, all of what I thought it was what a woman should be, all of what I thought I should be, if I crumbled down. And now it's going into a different direction. And my boat has shifted direction and it feels good. Weird, but feels good. I don't know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it's, yeah, just,
I love it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And when you said, "Don't get me wrong," it's okay to be misunderstood.
mm,
It's okay if you're about to
yeah,
present an opinion that is different than culture.
yeah,
So if we say, "Don't get me wrong," it's, "Ooh, I'm saying something that you might not agree with, but don't, like, hang me at the
of course.
stake."
Yeah, yeah. I do that a lot, by the way. That's like a lot.
Yeah, I
And
heard it a few times where I was like, "Oh, okay, we're gonna talk about that." Because it's the "don't get me wrong," it's, "Oh, but I still wanna be a people pleaser," or "I still want you to like me," or "I still want you to know that even though I wanna work, that I'm deeply committed to being a good mom. So don't get me wrong that even though work lights me up and I see it as fun and I can't wait to build my business bigger and bigger and what it looks like to me, I get to design my business, but don't get me wrong, I'm still a mom."
yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah. And it's funny because I feel like for me, it's almost like the opposite. For me, it's I don't want you to think that I don't like to work or people. I don't want them to think that like now I'm a stay-at-home mom. even though I like it. I like enjoy it. And being with my baby and seeing her just grow and figure things out day by day. But definitely that's actually like something that I do a lot. That don't get me wrong, and trying to justify my ideas. It's something that I still work with. Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
be more secure of what am I trying to express without the fear of being misunderstood, as you just said.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's what's the worst that happens if someone misunderstands you?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yes.
you're still going to go to bed the same way you went to bed last night. You're still gonna wake up the same way you did. You're still gonna have it's you still move through your body. You're still who you were as a woman. It's even before you were misunderstood and after you're misunderstood, you're still the same woman. It's our responsibility how we deliver messages to people. Can I deliver it without the intention of leveling someone else out? When I say something, I'm not trying to annihilate someone with my sharp tongue. I know my tongue can be sarcastic. I know that I can be hurtful. I have to be careful where, okay, if I'm hurting, that it doesn't come out of my mouth because you can't unring that bell. So it's my responsibility is I watch the way it comes out of my mouth. And if I say it with complete kindness about it, then it's their responsibility how they navigate those things. And you talked about the fighting identity at one point. Is your baby calling you? Is that
No, no,
were you
no. My
looking?
other baby, my 4 leg baby.
Oh, okay.
It's fine.
Because
Without it.
yeah, your furry baby, all the
Right.
demands in life.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fighting the identity of it's okay for you to be able to create your own identity as a woman. What works for you is not going to be the rule book that someone else throws at you or tries to smack you upside of the head with. The rule book. There's way too much of that in society where the pendulum swings so far in one direction and you have to ask ourselves, the invitation would be ask yourself according to who? Is can I not stay home with my daughter and really love it that my husband is such a good provider that it takes all the stress off of me? I don't have to worry about when I open up the fridge, are there going to be groceries because we decided to get gas instead of groceries? Can I be so grateful and say that I love being a stay-at-home mom? I love that when I get to work, it's fun because I don't have the pressure of providing. And can you enjoy that and acknowledge your husband? In society, there are parts of it where it says, "No, that's like toxic masculinity. He's trying to hold you down." And it's no, he's actually trying to lift you up so
Yeah.
that you can enjoy nursing Luna so that and I say that because you were talking about nursing her at the beginning of this call, like that you can enjoy changing her diapers, that you can enjoy snuggling her, that you can enjoy those moments. He's being in his masculine and you get to be in your feminine.
Yes. And that was a concept that I did not understand before. I definitely didn't. And I'm so glad and grateful that I got it to understand it in my brain. So definitely.
Yeah. And we don't have to pretend to be both. We don't have to be masculine and okay, when I'm working, yes, girl, don't get me wrong. When you're building your business, you're in your masculine. When you're in you're having fun but there's still a masculine container because when clients show up for you, you're leading them. They're on the receiving end of it. They're receiving your training, you're leading. When you're watching your money as a woman and a business owner and you're building your company, you're building a company, you can build it to multi six figures, you can build it to multi seven figures, whatever it is that it means to you, you get to decide. And because you're a mom, it doesn't mean that you play a smaller game. Because you're a stay at home mom, it doesn't mean you play a smaller game. You could be a stay at home mom, Braden's out working, you could make $1 million a year. You could create your company and make it multi six figure. It's whatever it means to you. If you want to achieve the 6-figure mark or what is it that's comfortable for you, you're going to decide. And that's what you get to build because when you ask according to who, it's according to you, what your desires are, what feels fun to you, what feels lit up to you, what feels in like part of your identity in the right now.
Yeah, definitely. I can relate to that. And I feel like that defining according to who, according to me, I think that's something that I've come more, what's the name of this? Aware of that. and maybe more serious too of, okay, what do you want? What do you really want?
Yeah.
Because whatever it is, it's totally fine. But when you don't are able to define it, you are like shooting too many arrows around and you're just pouring too much energy rather than out there, rather than focusing and okay, this is where we're gonna go. So I think that right now, again, pregnancy has been, I feel like it has given me that sort of power. I don't even know how to describe it because it sounds cheesy. I don't know. But I really feel like it gave me a whole different perspective of who I am, what I want, and not necessarily like it changed it in the, oh, I'm not that person anymore. I'm now this person, or I don't want that. Now I want this. It's just, I don't know, like I'm more mature. I feel like maybe,
You're
yeah.
all grown up.
And I'm like, okay, we're doing this. We can do this. We can do this and more. So let's go. So it's just,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And you asked me at the wedding, you said, how do you balance building a business and being a mom? And I think one of the biggest things is I had to let myself off the hook where it's this delicate that holds on to of knowing that I can't have it all to some degree, because when I'm focusing on my business, I'm not focusing on my sons. But then when I was focusing on my sons, then I'm not focusing on my business. And when I relieved that pressure for myself and allowed myself to be present in the moment, there were times when in my home office, because I had a business, it was on site, but also at home. So I remember one time in my home office and the three boys were there, which probably meant within an hour, a fight was going to break out if they're unsupervised. And a lot of testosterone in the house at that time, and like a lot of like boys and in different ages, different stages, whatever, personalities. But I remember writing a note that said, do not open this door unless there is blood or the ambulance has been called. I think that's what I said. Do not open the door
I
unless
heard
there's like, and yeah, unless there like the ambulance has already been called. Like don't, because you think it's an emergency, still do not open the door.
that.
But if you've had to call the ambulance already, then you can't involve.
It's qualified as an emergency. Yes.
Yeah, then that's truly an emergency. But so putting that note on the door of, okay, this is a physical boundary that physically I'm shutting the door. And also the physical boundary is there. You don't get to open it up because it's an emergency because your brother ate your Skittles. That's not an emergency to me, might be to you, not to me. And so sometimes we have these balance of putting physical boundaries in place, but also too of noticing that could I have felt like a failure of, okay, I closed the door because I'm ignoring my kids and it's no, they're going to be fine. And I'm focusing on my business. And it robs our children of the opportunity if they don't get to see me build a business because I get to blame it on being a single parent of three. I can either use it as an excuse that, oh, I'm a parent, or I can use it as motivation. Oh, I'm a parent. Time for me to clock in and create the life that I want. And my children get to learn by watching me.
Oh, yeah.
And your daughter gets to learn by watching you. She gets to watch how you get to receive being cared for by your husband. She gets to watch how you get to have fun and build your business. And you get to build that business as big as what your heart desires because you choose to.
Yeah. No, totally. That's beautiful the way that you put it. And the fact that our kids are watching that and they're definitely going to be learning by the example that you are giving to them. And you can use it as an excuse or you can use it as fuel to, okay, let's go. I think too that uh, from my personal experience, I've always been so attached to the idea that in order for something to be worth it, you got to suffer. In the sense of, it
Oh,
has, was that?
that's a big one, a big
Yeah.
lie.
Yeah. Like in order for you to be successful or like even for your company or business or whatever it is, talking about company because what we're like making reference to, in order for that to have worth, you need to cry and suffer and sweat and juggle and feel the anxiety and where and that's something that I definitely like currently working to detach it from myself because again it's one of those ideas that I bonded to my being so tight that now when something comes easily I tend to diminish it because I didn't work hard or I didn't whatever. And so it's no, ¿por qué? ¿Por qué? Why do I have to feel this way? And even like I'm talking to you and my brain back here is like saying, because that's how the way that it's supposed to be. That's just like, it's just crazy.
Okay, because it's always been that way. Do not change it.
God, exactly. Exactly. Do not change it. Yeah. No, it's just, yeah. That's something that I'm currently working because of that same thing that you just mentioned. Your kids are watching and your kids are learning through example. And I don't want her to have the idea of, yeah, in order to be someone or in order to achieve your goals or in order to do whatever, you need to suffer. Of course, you have to work hard. Yeah. But once again, that work hard doesn't have to mean suffering. That same idea that we were talking about in the beginning about pain, where like pain doesn't have to be negative. Like pain, working hard doesn't have to be negative. You don't have to go into the like of everything. You can see everything with joy and thankfulness and grateful and yeah, just
When I started my company, my last company before this one, that when I started my last company, that people said, "Oh, be prepared, it's going to be hard." And I thought about it and I was like, I don't think it was hard because I was living in such alignment with my design that it didn't feel hard. My first month, I made like a little over 10,000 the first month. First month I started my company. And
yeah.
then it went into multiple six figures the first year. So the first year, and I had employees. And if people would have asked me the month before I had my company, I would have been like, I don't know how this is going to work. It was an idea in a 3-ring binder. But I was awarded a 6-figure contract the following month. I had employees. I didn't even know how to do payroll. If people would have asked, oh, you need to do payroll, you need to do this, I would have been like, oh, I need to become more prepared. I need to learn to do payroll. I need to do this so that I can have that. All of the BS stories, or I need to hustle so it can be hard. There were people in the industry that told me because it was a homeowner association management company. So a HOA management company, the first client out of the gate had over 1,300 homes in their master planned community. That was my first client contract that I was awarded. And people in the industry, when I was talking with them during the bidding process, because when a master planned community goes out, and even in San Diego County, you think it's big, but it's small. And there are fewer master plan communities. Everyone knows when one goes out to bid. All of the management companies know. When we were at the meetings, there were women that had owned a business. Oh, I've been in business for 14 years, but I don't pick up any clients more than 200 doors because you need to have more experience before you go after a master plan community. And I was like, okay. I know. I was like, okay, that's good for you, but also, and it just meant nothing to me. I'm like, yeah, whatever. And that wasn't one of the 5 things when I said people said that's never been done before. I just didn't care. Those are the dream crushers, or that felt safe to her. So she was cared deeply enough to try and keep me safe, whatever it was. But you just move through, you make the moves in your business that feel good to you. Doesn't necessarily have to be hard. I think the hard comes from when we live out of alignment with our own design. To someone else, it could wreck their nervous system. They would say, oh, you've gone too big, too fast. And to me, I'm like, hell yeah, let's go. Let's go too big, too fast. Because I'll build the plane on the way up. And that's the way that I'm wired. So that works perfectly with my design.
What do you think it was like that? What do you think it defined you or gave you that certainty or that power of or self-confidence of when this person came to you and told you, oh, you're going to go over 200 doors and you were like, whatever. Like, no. What do you think it was that in you? Get where I'm trying to ask?
Yes. Like, where does this come from? I think in my human design, which I work with clients a lot. Have you heard of human design?
Not much.
Okay. So human design, it's like do you know what your sun sign is? Like, I'm a Libra. Okay. So it's similar to that. And instead of using the planetary alignments, it focuses on the energy centers that are in your body. So in my human design, I am very anchored in my sacral of knowing that I know, and my root chakra, like I know that I'm anchored in me. And so that's part of my design. And so just trusting myself, maybe falling down on my face enough and picking myself back up again, that each time I fell on my face that I learned that, oh, I can pick myself up again. I'll be okay. And it just felt like intuitively, it felt like this was, my gut said this was what I was supposed to do. That over 1,300 homes is not too big. It doesn't feel too big. It feels like this is what I'm supposed to do. And when I feel like this is what I'm supposed to do, it turns into magic, because then all the things that are magnetized to me to support that.
That's amazing. That's so cool. Did you know that when back then, or is this like having like more recent knowledge of yourself?
The looking at human design, I first got a book on it 4 years ago, so in 21. So it was the first time I put a book on it, and it sat on the shelf up until recently. And I started looking at it more and thinking, okay, I don't know why a video came through for me. And when we're called to something, it just shows up in our life again. So a video came through and I was like, oh. And then I went through the whole rabbit hole, like on human design. I started giving friends human design readings, and they were in tears crying. They're like, oh my God, this makes so much sense. This is the way I'm wired. This explains everything. And it explains how we can be strategic in our business and what helps us make moves in our business that felt good. Like I described when I built my company, that my last one, and I do the same thing now in the company that I'm building now. I use my human design. It doesn't feel exhausted. I'm not getting burnout. And I'm following. So there are times when I'm going paddleboarding, and girl, the last 2 times I went paddleboarding, maybe not the last one. Okay. So of the 3 times, the 2 times prior to that, when I went paddleboarding, I got a new client that called me from Google and bought a client package. Both times I went paddleboarding, 2 separate times.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
Which just disproves the lie that we need to hustle and have burnout. No, we don't. 0. No, we don't. That's an old paradigm. No, I don't know. We could talk more about that next time, but
We'll love to.
all right. All right, my love. Anything else before we wrap it up? Thank you so much for your time.
Well, of course. Thank you so much for having me here. And yeah, I'm excited to hear the whole thing when it's all done.